Just as I'm about to reach out for the latch of the trapdoor, I can hear footsteps crunching on the gravel path leading up to the garage. My blood runs cold and my body freezes in place. No, I have to move. If they spot me here, I'm in major trouble, not to mention compromising the mission. The sound of the doorknob turning spurs me into action, and I dive behind a workbench covered by a plastic tarp and hold my breath. The door lets out an almighty creak as the garage door opens it. Crap, I'm sure I'm caught. You might be wondering just how I managed to get myself into such a sticky situation. Well, that's a little complicated, but it all started when a new girl came to school. My name is Gracie, and this is a story about how I became the youngest spy in America. I live in a quiet, unassuming New England town. It's probably the quietest, sleepiest town you could ever hope to find anywhere. Nothing interesting ever happens in this place. Every day is a struggle to find something remotely entertaining to do. Unless you really like lacrosse, you're gonna get bored super quick. My friends and I like to spend our time chilling at the mall, people watching and avoiding Miranda, the resident school bully, who typically does whatever she wants to us, but also gets away with it, probably because she's the most popular girl in school. Oh, we do our best to avoid her. She's so mean-spirited. Like this one time when me and my friends were shopping together for new outfits, she just so happened to wander into the same store. Coincidence? I think not.
Oh, look, I didn't realize they were having a discount sale for dorks.
I wanted to punch her right in the middle of her sneering face, but that wouldn't have solved anything, so we just gathered what was left of our dignity and left. It's really the only way to deal with her. Like most drama-loving girls, she's hoping for a confrontation so she can play the victim and garner sympathy affection.
Oh, sweetie, you might want to get a larger size. I can see the flabby muffin top you're so desperately trying to hide.
I would love to say that Miranda got what was coming to her, but unfortunately, this is not a movie where the school bully gets her comeuppance. But you needed some of Miranda's backstory. This is a story about me and the new girl. Okay, getting back to the spy thing. It was the start of a new term and we were all assembled in the classroom. We all noticed the new girl right away. You'd have to be pretty oblivious not to. She sat at the back of the classroom, looking all innocent and adorable, like a true Southern belle. Her blonde hair and pigtails, cute denim outfit, and all the thing. It wouldn't have surprised me to see her chewing lazily on a length of wheat straw sticking out of the side of her mouth. Once the roll was called for all of us regulars, Miss Jenkins introduced the new girl. Now, class, we have a new student joining us for the rest of the term. Would you please come up and introduce yourself to the class?
Well, hi there. I'm Elizabeth Mary Sutton, and I'm from Nebraska. Most people just call me Lizzie or Liza. Wow, corn spettle in a farmer's pot. It's good to meet ya, Eliza.
That's enough, Miranda. Now, who would like to be Elizabeth's buddy until she gets to know the school? Ugh. Chaperoning the new kid is always the worst chore at school.
Miss Jenkins, I think Gracie wants to do it. She loves making new friends. She certainly could use some.
Very good, Miranda. Gracie, you think you can escort Elizabeth around until she's accustomed to the school? I couldn't believe it. What could I say? If I said no, I would look like the biggest jerk in class, but I didn't want to get burdened with the new girl. The whole class was staring at me with all their judgmental faces, eagerly waiting for my response. Yes, okay, fine. I swear, if it's the last thing I do, I will get revenge on Miranda. I spent the entire day showing Eliza around the school. I escorted her to each of her classes and even had to spend lunch with her. While I was eager to be free of her, I was starting to take a shine to her. She always seemed to have some Southernisms to share with me and my friends. Her general outlook on life was a lot brighter than any I had ever seen before. Cheerful, uplifting, dare I say fun? By the end of the day, she was comfortably starting to feel like one of us. When I got home, I told my parents about the new girl. My sheriff dad is always eager to learn about new people moving to town, so he was not short on questions. Yeah, like I said, it's super sleepy here and nothing much ever goes on. Sutton, you say? Are they the ones that just moved into the old farmhouse just outside of town? I
I don't know, Dad. I didn't interrogate her, I just met her. He nodded solemnly and looked at me with questions and thoughts weighing heavy in his eyes. I knew he was calculating and weighing the consequences of getting me involved. He's my dad, so I could always read that look he gets when he's devising a plan of some sort.
Okay, sweetie. You got homework to do?
Yes, sir. Dad disappeared for the rest of the evening. I didn't even see him at dinner that night. Hey, Mom, where's Dad?
Oh, he's just dealing with some stuff for work. He said he had calls to make.
It was very strange. Dad never does work stuff when he's at home, only when it's a real emergency. The last time there was a real emergency was 6 years ago when a cow broke loose from the old Miller's place. Yeah, the same one where Eliza is now living. But I'll tell you about the Miller's cow later. Later that evening, as I'm about ready for bed, my dad comes into my room. His face is stark and stony. He went looking around my room like he's going to find a boy hiding in my closet or something. Dad, you okay?
Yeah, sweetie, I'm good.
Right. I could tell he's not. Then he opened up.
Now, what I'm going to ask you is very serious. You can say no if you want, but you'd be doing me and the sheriff's department a big favor.
He was intense. What the heck could he be talking about? I didn't have anything of value. What? Maybe direct traffic while the sheriffs all reset the traffic lights? Maybe walk all the dogs at the Humane Society after school every day? Did he want me and my friends doing a sponsored car wash with outrageous prices? He did do the car wash thing once, but it turned out he just wanted to get the cop cars washed for free.
I want you to keep pretending to be this Elizabeth Sutton's friend. Can you do that?
What on earth was the deal with this Eliza girl? Everyone trying to force me to be her friend all of a sudden. Pretending? Yeah, sure, Dad.
Excellent. It's also important you don't tell anyone, all right?
I think the entire school is going to notice that I'm Eliza's friend, Dad.
No, I mean don't tell them what the sheriff's department is after.
What are they after?
We think Elizabeth's father might be a terrorist.
A what? A terrorist?
Look, I know how it sounds, but I just want you to keep close to Elizabeth Sutton and listen. Just see if she drops any information. Any small thing might matter. But don't take action. Don't do anything stupid or dangerous. Just ears open. Got it?
I went into school the next day sweating buckets, but did what my dad asked. I mean, I was pretty much Eliza's friend already, so it wasn't anything but business as usual, right? So why did I feel so nervous? It wasn't like I was expected to assassinate anyone, just listen to her. The more I pondered my task, though, the more my nerves turned into excitement. I was spying on someone. I was a spy. I felt big, like putting on a tuxedo and snooping around the school to see what intel I could gather. Then whisper it into a recorder and report back to headquarters. I might have gotten carried away a tiny bit. During class, I devised a plan. I put my hand up.
Yes, Gracie.
Miss Jenkins, can I go to the bathroom, to use it? 'Cause I have to go. Yikes.
Oh, yes, of course, Gracie. Here's a pass.
I felt so sneaky. I didn't need to go to the toilet. I planned to get into Eliza's locker. I knew the combination. I had seen her put it in several times in the last couple of days. All that showing her around had actually paid off. I snuck through the hallway, avoiding the janitor and faculty, got to the locker, and as quietly as a mouse, spun the combination in and opened it up. I didn't know what I was expecting to find. Maybe a full confessional letter about how her dad is the world's #1 most wanted terrorist in the world. A receipt to Bad Guys Are Us, maybe. I don't know. But in reality, womp womp, my investigation had reached a dead end. I would need to be more cunning. I rushed back to my seat and started scheming other ways to get even closer to Eliza. In the end, super normal, my friends and I arranged to hang out at Eliza's that weekend. It was the perfect ruse. No one was going to suspect an innocent schoolgirl of being a super spy. Well, maybe not a super spy, but a spying teenager all the same. But that plan turned out to be a bust as well. When we got to her place, it was still in the process of being unpacked, so there were a lot of boxes everywhere, and it was almost impossible for me to get a peek into one. Hey, I have a great idea. What's that? We should play hide and seek. What, really? That's a kiddie game. Nah, really, it's perfect. This place has hundreds of cool hiding spots. Come on. Yeah, all right. I can count first, yeah? We all agreed Eliza would count first, and off we scattered. I felt like such a little evil genius. I even gave a little villainous mustache-twirling laugh as I ran to the barn. If there was going to be anything to link Mr. Sutton to being a terrorist, it was going to be in there, right? Well, that or the basement, but the basement was crammed with boxes now, so the barn was my first stop. I didn't know what I was looking for. I guess I was hoping for a big black ball that had the word bomb stenciled on it in big white letters. Maybe documents that lined up to say, I'm going to blow up the bank. I didn't find either of those, but what I did find were fish. Lots and lots of fish. All their little corpses hung out to dry and stinking up the place. I was pretty sure they had only moved here a few weeks ago, but Mr. Sutton had so much raw fish, I imagine a whole lake's worth. My mind raced as I tried to make sense of it all. The whole situation got my imagination running wild. Was Mr. Sutton planning on poisoning the world's fish supplies? Was he trying to breed an army of superfish? That's when I saw the trap door leading to a room under the barn. But as I was about to reach for it, I heard footsteps approach, so I ducked behind a workbench and waited while holding my breath. And there he was, Mr. Sutton, sauntering into the barn, whistling merrily, and made straight for the trap door. Fortunately, he didn't know I was there, so didn't think to look around for anybody watching. When I peered around the workbench, he was gone, and the trapdoor sat wide open. As quiet as I could, I tiptoed across the dusty floor to peek inside. I could hear Mr. Sutton whistling boisterously, which made it easy to judge how close he was. When I peered into the basement of the barn, I saw a mad scientist's dream. There were vats and beakers of things bubbling away, strange alchemical contraptions that fed clear liquids into containers and flasks. Mr. Sutton was wearing a rather dirty lab coat and large goggles, spooning some powder into a mortar. Oh my gosh! I had found what I was looking for! Then I ran.
Hey, who's there?
Later that afternoon, when my friends and I were chilling in the garden drinking fresh lemonade, Mr. Sutton approached us. My cheeks flushed and my blood pressure skyrocketed. My heart beat a fast staccato, and I was sure everyone could hear it. Did he know it had been me in the barn? Did he know I was spying on him? What was he going to do to me if he found out? Sweat broke out across my forehead.
Were any of you girls near the barn earlier?
No, sir. We were just playing hide and seek. I wish I hadn't spoken at all. All it did was draw his attention to me. He looked at me hard. I desperately tried not to even think about what I had seen, just in case he could read minds.
All right. Make sure you all stay clear, okay? There's a lot of dangerous stuff in there.
Yes, sir. Whew. I was thankful when my dad came and picked me up. I was in the clear as far as I could tell. Then I told my dad everything.
Sounds like he might be a chef.
What? A chef? Was he even listening? I had no idea what he meant. Later, I found out it's a nickname for someone who cooked drugs. That night, my dad got a warrant to search Mr. Sutton's house. They raided it and secured his laboratory in the barn, all because of my intel. But I was surprised to find out that Mr. Sutton was not, in fact, a global terrorist or a bank robber. Yeah, he wasn't even dealing in drugs. He was blast fishing. It is illegal to bomb areas of a lake to catch a large amount of fish. No nets, but yes, illegal explosives. So the fish now made a lot more sense. While I was thankful that the whole ordeal was over with, I couldn't help but feel a little disappointed that the bad guy was just a lazy fisherman. I mean, dad joke incoming. I had my heart set on catching a much bigger fish. Anyway, Eliza didn't know at all. Unsurprising. Mr. Sutton got fined for damages, and now he has to wear one of those ankle tag things. Of course, he has not allowed any of us around the farmhouse anymore, even to visit Eliza. But that's okay. It stank of fish anyway.